Got to find a way out. Got to. Too late. Despite the clickbaity title, I'm not covering this story just to highlight the failings of one of the worst Spider-Man comics ever. Okay, well, I am doing that to an extent as this story came out years ago, and I kind of find it funny that the idea to torpedo Spidey's marriage to MJ bears a striking similarity to a Flash comic that came out roughly a decade before One More Day. But this story isn't just about the Flash, Wally West during this time, and also best Flash of all time, Fight Me, making a deal with the devil who has a weirdly specific interest in his personal life. It is also a stealth sequel to the 90s crossover event Underworld Unleashed. Keystone City is in chaos. Buildings are on fire and ice. Cyclones prevent anyone from using transportation, and reflective surfaces have begun attacking people. With the population of Keystone boxed in and the death toll on the rise, where is the Flash? Well, due to certain events, the Flash was banned from Keystone and took up residence in the city of Santa Marta, which is currently submerged after a fight between our fleet-footed hero and the villain Major Disaster. Despite no one having died, Wally is in full brooding mode, feeling that he brings destruction wherever he goes. Not for long, as a plane crash is about to kill Wally's reporter fiancée Linda. He runs in to save her and her cameraman, having sensed that she was in trouble. Linda informs Wally that the rogues, Captains Boomerang and Cold, Heatwave, Weather Wizard, and Mirror Master, are behind the destruction, which startles Wally for two reasons. For starters, the rogues may have been criminals, but they would mainly focus on bank robberies and similar crimes, never wide-scale chaos like this. Another thing. They are dead right now, having died at the start of the event Underworld Unleashed, having been tricked by the demon Neuron. Soon enough, Wally faces off against the rogues, who seem in desperate need of a tan, though that's offset by the fact that they can heal off any damage done to them. Aren't there a million better places for you to be right now? Not and do my job. Realizing that the rogues are essentially a bunch of unstoppable soulless zombies right now, Flash decides to seek out the Trickster, who was a member of the rogues and instrumental in defeating Neuron, only to find out that Mirror Master got to him first. Fearing that the rogues are going after their former colleagues, Wally goes to see if ex-rogue Pied Piper, who is also one of his close friends, is okay or not. Piper's okay, and when Wally mentions that he needs a way to contact Neuron, he produces a green candle. In Underworld Unleashed, the villains all received a candle with which they would have a chance to barter their souls with Neuron for something they wanted, which seemingly extended to ex-villains as well. Wally uses the candle to go to hell. Literally. Though he does contact the Justice League before doing so. He was hoping that he could convince Neuron to do something about the soulless rogues, feeling that the Lord of Hell would be concerned about his property having escaped. That is, unless it was all part of the devil's plan, as pointed out by Major Disaster, who happens to be in hell. Turns out that all the recent events in Wally's life, the attack on Santa Marta, the rogues causing destruction in Keystone City, even the delivery of a candle to Pied Piper all the way back in Underworld Unleashed, were all part of Neuron's plan to get Wally in a compromising position. Wally refuses to play Neuron's game, feeling that he and his allies can take care of the rogues. Neron teleports him away, but not before handing him a badly beaten up Jay Garrick as a sign that things aren't probably going to end well. Promise me, don't deal with him. Only as a last resort, I swear. And none of this is for the record, okay? No Pulitzers won on this scoop. Resist the urge to phone it in, alright? Wally, I can't believe you said that! The JLA, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern Kyle Rayner, and Electric Blue Superman show up to help Wally. Unfortunately, they don't take the threat of the rogues as seriously as they should have, leading to Kyle and John being taken out of the fight. Wally, Diana, and Clark do their best, but the rogues are tireless, heal off any damage, and unleash a bunch of avatars with their powers. Wally eventually returns to Hell and asks Neron his price, assuming that he would have to forfeit his soul. Wally? What are you doing here? Thinking about what a hellish day it's been. Why? You need an exclusive to cap your afternoon? However, Neron doesn't want the hero's soul. He wants his love for Linda. You listen to me. I was a damn good reporter long before you came to town, buddy. The stories I got... Oh, get real. Without me, you don't have stories to report. Do we have a deal? Take it. Get out. Out of my office, out of my life, for good. As Wally breaks up with Linda, he asks for the ring he gave her. Except it's missing from her finger. Neron revealing that the only reason he didn't take Wally's soul was that Linda made a deal with him not to, sacrificing her love for Wally. Neron does keep his bargain and returns the rogues' souls, ending their threat. Unfortunately, his bargain doesn't cover the avatars who are still around and creating havoc. With his electric blue powers, Superman figures out that Wally is leaking Speed Force energy, allowing the avatars to sustain themselves on him. The League figures out what happened after talking to Linda, and after the former couple talks, they realized what happened, what they sacrificed, and how it was all for nothing in the end. Flash! You have won! So, as it turns out, Neron was right about how powerful Wally and Linda's love was, causing him to feel something he hadn't ever experienced: compassion for other people. And that to the devil would be his end. However, Wally and Linda are not willing to take back their love for nothing. Together, they bargain with Neron to restore Keystone to the way it was before the rogues were unleashed. With the devil humbled, the rogues back, and their love restored, Wally and Linda end the story, solidifying their love with a kiss. If someone told me that Mark Waid somehow traveled back in time to write a Take That to One More Day back in the late 90s, well, first I'd ask for what they were smoking and where I could get some. But even without getting high, I'd have believed them. There are so many similarities between the two stories, it is staggering. A grave threat to something close to the hero, who is worn down mentally due to stuff happening in his personal life, and none of the other heroes can help solve his issue, so he has to make a deal with the devil and sacrifice his love for his partner. It's a pretty close copy. Except that the people behind One More Day forgot that the devil is supposed to lose. But no, Hell to Pay is Mark Waid wrapping up some loose threads from Underworld Unleashed. Namely, the fact that the rogues were just offed for the sole reason of being lame in some people's eyes. After all, we needed more hip 90s villains like Onslaught, and Overkill, and Violator, and Codpiece. However, Mark Waid said that he and plotter Brian Augustine had always planned to bring them back, and killing them off in Underworld Unleashed was to prevent them from being, well, too 90s-fied. Considering that the rogues would go on to become well-known villains in their own right, shows that maybe the best person to handle these characters is a writer who clearly cares deeply for them. It made sense to do it in the pages of The Flash, too. The rogues were his villains, and Neron was tricked by the trickster, which led to his defeat the first time. As for Wally and Linda, they would go on to be one of the most beloved couples in DC history, both in and out of the universe. You get an immediate understanding of how good they are together, while Neron tricks them separately using their love for each other against them. When they are working together, even with the absence of romantic feelings between them, they beat the devil. If that's not true love, then I don't know what is.
Super, and, here,